Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 4 of On the Backs of Gods. I am Jillian, your dungeon master, and here with me today is Kyle, Mac, Josh, Ray, and Christo. Sadly, Frank cannot be with us today, but don't worry, we will all push through and we're going to have a good time fighting a horrible house monster. Last time, the group was traveling through the Valley of Odin, where they came across a rift where an abomination tried to befriend Nana after she fell 60 feet into a pit. But she was saved by the team, and the team moved forward, hopefully leaving the abomination behind them and something not to pursue them later on. The group later finds the town of Galone, an abandoned village that is next to the lake, where they are supposed to find the stairway to God's heart. In this town, they find a house covered in grass and just soft foliage and like black ooze that is just sunk into the wood. Ave and Roshan went inside to investigate. And once inside, they saw a melted, horrible once human that is fused with the house's floor, sunken in, face stuck, charred and black, pulled downwards with soft, kind of grape-like eyes that have dried up and shriveled over time, bones protruding upwards where the flesh and skin melted away, who knows how long ago. Inside of this room, there was also a crib made hundreds of years ago. Shocking Ave, who walked away. Roshan stayed, and the woman on the floor made eye contact with Roshan, and that is where we are going to pick up. I would like everybody to roll initiative.
Oh boy!
Oh.
I will ask you for your initiative numbers, so one moment. All right, is everybody ready? Roshan, what is your number?
8.
8. Gorbjorn.
19.
Ooh, 19. Saga.
11.
11.
Yes.
Fen.
21.
21. Nana.
20.
20. And then Ave has a 19. Tordrek has an 11. House itself. Okay. We are starting off the initiative with Fen. Fen, before you, you see this house up on stilts about 10 feet high. Inside of it is Roshan. Ave has already vacated. And you see that the house is starting to move and creak, and it's trying to uproot its legs from the ground, but is currently stuck.
I'm going to shout to Roshan, Roshan, get out now! And going to take my rope. As a bonus action, I cast Zephyr Strike.
Okay.
I would like to run below the house. I do not provoke opportunity attacks with Zephyr Strike active. It adds 30 feet to my movement, bringing me up to 65 feet of movement, plus this is the first round of combat, so Dread Ambusher gives me an additional 10 feet of movement. With my action, I would like to tie a rope around one of the stilts and then use all of my movement trying to wrap these stilts together with the rope.
Okay. So what is your full movement? Tell me again.
75 feet.
All right.
Just this round.
Go ahead and roll me dexterity plus proficiency for tying the rope.
18, 21 plus proficiency is still 2, 23.
Okay, easy enough to get like a lark's head knot around one of the legs and keep moving. You are able to you can loop the house with 55 movement.
Okay. I'm gonna probably just want to. Yeah, I want to just get it as tangled up, even if it's just 2 or 3 of the legs, just as tangled up as possible, so that this rope is doubled up and adds a little strength to it.
Okay, so we'll
rather than being around all of the legs, maybe just tangle up as many of them as I can, with some redundancy.
All right, you currently are on the opposite side of the house now, but you have a couple loops, a good few loops around 2 of the legs on one side.
Okay, and I'm just gonna back up a little bit, giving myself some room from the house.
All right. Do a little math with that in a minute. Cool. All right. That is your turn as you yell for Roshan to get out of the house and start to wrap up the legs. Next, we have Nana.
Right. I'm going to use all right, so I'm next to Ave. I've seen Fen already start going over, tying the rope around the house. How far away are we from the house that is currently active?
You are 20 feet away from like the closest leg.
Okay. Do I see any of the other houses starting to move like this one is?
Roll perception real fast.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a nat 1.
You hope not.
Sure hope not.
They don't look like they're moving and you're just going to assume they're not.
All right, too much important stuff to worry about over here anyway. That's fine. I want to, is Roshan still up, like, at the house's door?
Yes.
Okay, I want to run my way up there, far as my 40 feet of movement will take me, and try to, like, pull Roshan back from the door if I can reach him.
40 feet of movement?
40.
Sadly, you're about 10 feet away from him, but you're like at the top of the steps near him, but you are not close enough to get him.
Can I see through the doorway?
You cannot see through the doorway at your angle, but you can see Roshan is just staring in.
All right. I'm pulling both my spears from my back, and I want to shout to Roshan, you had better get behind me right now, or you're going to die.
Runs in through. Are you going to do any action?
I mean, I can't see in through the doorway. I don't believe. I don't suppose if I use. If I were to use Hunter's Sense on the house, would I get anything from it?
And what does Hunter's Sense do for you? Does it tell you like weaknesses or whatnot?
Damage, immunities, resistances, or vulnerabilities, and what they are if the creature is not hidden from divination magic.
Okay, and that's an action?
It is.
All right. I'll say them out loud. The rest of you, I trust. It is immune to acid damage, resistant to cold damage. It cannot be knocked prone, and it is vulnerable to fire damage.
Someone get a fire going right now!
All right. Moving on to Gorbjorn.
I'll from the sled, I'll take up a torch and light it, and that counts as an action, right? Or is it?
That will be an action.
Okay, and then I'll walk into the house and just drop it on the thing, I guess.
You can start making your way over. What's your movement? 30?
Yeah.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 30. Yeah, you could actually step in front of Roshan and just like drop it in if you want to.
Yeah, I'll just do that because I can't really make an attack.
Okay. You move up into the house. Nana runs up. Get out of the way. You walk past Nana with a torch. Move past Roshan, who is just standing in the doorway still, and you drop the torch. All right. I am going to say that dropping of the torch is your bonus action. Easy enough. And then I'm going to assume that is it.
Yeah.
All right. It is now Ave's turn. Ave hears everyone just start yelling at once. Get out of the way. Get down from there. You're going to die. Get some fire. So he stands up. I'm going to make a roll. Ave does not do anything this round. Ave kind of struggles to his feet a bit, but is just completely dazed. That is his turn. Next in the order is Saga.
How much of this do I hear from the house across the street?
I would say that you don't see any of it because you're currently inside the house, but you can hear people are starting to yell. Nobody has said the house is alive, but you hear people yelling.
Okay. I would like to exit the house that I'm in, and figure out what's going on.
All right. If you look outside, you can see a house trying to free its legs. You can see Fen pulling on a rope near the legs. You can see Nana, who has run up the steps. Ave, who's standing away from the house, unmoving. Those are the people you can see.
Oh. Mage armor.
All right.
And I guess I'll just back up a little bit.
Currently, you're about 30 feet away from the house.
Okay. Yeah, continue to back up.
All right.
Yep. As far as my movement can allow.
Okay.
And that'll be my turn, because that's Mage Armor's an action.
All right. Next is Tordrek, who I will be playing. He is going to do Sacred Flame, and the house is going to attempt a dexterity saving throw.
Natural 20.
Knowing our luck.
A natural 18 and a natural 2. It has disadvantage currently. It is going to take a d8 of damage.
Excellent.
6.
Not bad, not bad.
All right. And bonus action. No. All right. And Tordrek is going to he is going to back up a few feet. And he's like,
Valid.
all right. Next in the order is the house. Beep. Roshan, you can see the woman looking at you. And then you watch as Gorbjorn runs ahead of you. And you watch as the mouth of the creature slowly opens. And just like an accumulation of the mass of its body moves towards its mouth and up and around. And it is going to, it looks like it was aiming for you, but it's going to hit Gorbjorn because he ran ahead of you.
You can try.
You can try to hit me.
You can try.
17?
That hits.
All right. You take 7 points of damage as this makeshift tongue grabs you. I need a strength saving throw.
Oh boy. That's a 14.
All right. You feel as it like wraps around your arm, and you feel it trying to pull you closer, but you are able to hold your ground and like free your arm. And for a split second, you see that like a secondary mouth in the body opened and created like a big hole in the center that it was trying to pull you towards. It is now going to try and free one of its legs.
That.
The people on the ground watch as the leg starts to pull the ground, and you can see it starting to split, but it does not get its leg free. That is the end of the house's turn. Roshan, you are up.
Does Roshan need to roll anything like Ave to not be stunned?
I would leave that to you.
Okay. Well then, I will say that Roshan just starts just backing up quickly, and that's a real bad dexterity roll. So he falls like over the railing or whatever.
Right. Okay, you're going to take 5 points of falling damage.
Okay, I'll take that.
As you move to get away, not really watching your footing, you fall the 10 feet and land on the ground next to the house.
And then in a daze from the ground, he will just throw his arms out wide and open his mouth and into a silent scream that shatters inside the house.
Okay. Do I need to roll anything for shatter?
Yes, that is a Constitution saving throw.
All right.
Since it's a construct, it takes half? Or it takes a disadvantage?
It takes... Yeah, so if it is made out of inorganic material...
House.
It has
also known as
yes.
house.
Yes.
Well, it fails.
Okay. So splinters and bits of wood fall off as it takes 12 force damage.
All right. And that's the not halved, correct?
Yes.
All right.
And Roshan just kind of lays there on the ground, arms outspread in a daze.
Okay.
Oh boy.
We are now back at the top of the order. Fen.
Do I see any sort of soft bits on the outside?
Roll me. I will take insight or investigation. I'll take either of those.
Say 14 to insight.
As you take a glance, because you had run under, you can see where that black spot was that almost kind of just looks like warped, wet wood. It almost looks like, it looks softer than the rest of the wood, though. You don't know if it is vulnerable, but you see there is a soft part underneath.
Okay. Can I hit that spot if I drop to a knee with my bow from where I'm standing?
You wouldn't even have to, from where you're standing, 10 feet up. Yeah, you could do that.
Okay. Well, I'm going to use my Zephyr Strike to give myself advantage on this. I'm also going to use Sharpshooter.
Okay.
So, and I'm glad I gave myself advantage because that's going to be a 12 to hit.
A 12 does not hit.
Okay.
Couldn't hit the broadside of a House.
I
It
guess.
looks like it hits the house, but it does not look like it did anything enough to like do damage.
All right. I'm gonna run back around to the other side to join the rest of my party. I'll cut right underneath it. Can't hit me. I don't draw opportunity attacks.
All right, you run to the other side next to Roshan.
Can I use bonus action to help get him up?
If he will let you pick him up. If not, it'll be like in a bit of an opposed situation. Roshan, would you let somebody pick you up?
I think, yeah, he'd let him help him up. He'd just still be a little out of it.
So you're able to get Roshan to his feet, but barely there.
Okay. And that's the end of my turn.
All right, Nana, you are up.
Okay. I want to, God. Okay. So Gorbjorn's in the doorway, right?
Gorbjorn's like inside the house.
Inside the house. How far inside the house?
I mean, like a good solid step inside.
Hey, what, like 5-10 feet in
Yeah, he's about
from me?
5 feet in. You could get to him on your turn if you wanted to.
All right. Well, all right. I'm going to. All right. Gorbjorn! Gorbjorn, are you going to get out of there, or are you going to stay while it burns down?
Ah!
Obviously, that's my answer. All right, then. You're getting out. Nana goes running in and tries to kind of shoulder in alongside of him and try to like kind of pull him back out of the house, all the while going like, we've got bigger fish to fry, big guy. Come on, downstairs. We've got to help Fen. Come on.
I mean, I feel like picking up Roshan gently off the ground, easy enough. I'm not sure if you can.
It's more a way to
move
get. It's more
Gorbjorn.
a way to get. It's more a way to get Gorbjorn to come with me, because I know there's no way I can pull him. He's too big, and I am too small.
Would you please
And-
come with me?
It's like I'm trying every trick in the book I got, because like Roshan, he's in trouble. Fen, we gotta go help him. Come on, big guy. Come on.
So you muscle in next to him, tell him it's time to go. What would you like to do?
I want to. All right. I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark on the thing on the floor. I don't want to look at it too long, but just long enough to concentrate, extend my senses, and make sure that I can keep track of this thing if it decides to move.
It is right in front of you right now.
Yeah, obviously. But I want to make sure I can keep track of it. Now, I don't. I want to grab one of my torches from my pack and kind of stick it into some, like into the head of the torch that Gorbjorn already dropped on the floor.
Okay.
Light it up, and if I have the action, because I just used a bonus action to do Hunter's Mark, I want to throw that torch at the thing that I just cast Hunter's Mark on.
I'm going to say it's your action to light the torch.
Okay.
Get it out of
that's
your
fine.
bag and get it lit. So currently you have a torch.
That's fair. Okay. All right. That's kind of my plan, though. I've got one spear, one hand kind of like clutching both spears just for the moment. I've
The
got
battle
the
of
torch in the other
torches.
hand. Yeah. And I've got that lit. I've got it out ahead of me. And I'm trying also to kind of like nudge Gorbjorn back. We really need your help on the ground, big guy. Come on, please.
Gorbjorn, you're up.
Nana being like a sister growing up, closest thing, I'll respect her wishes. So Gorbjorn will go outside and light another torch, I guess.
All right, you light another torch. Are you going just outside of the house, or are you going back to the ground?
I'll go back to the ground because that's what
Okay.
I have to go to the ground for the sled anyway.
All right. Oh, okay. So Okay,
Because
it's going to
I wouldn't be carrying it on me.
yeah, it takes your movement to get back to the sled.
Yeah, that's fine.
And you pull out a torch as your action and light it. Perfect.
Thank
Any bonus action?
you. Nah, I'm good.
All right. It is now Ave's turn. Let's see.
Come on, buddy.
With a natural 20, Ave kind of clears up as he sees Roshan fall off of the house.
Oh, gee.
Ave is going to, he sees that people are starting to set the house ablaze. He is going to do, he takes a couple steps forward and he is going to create bonfire. The house is going to make a dexterity save, which it has disadvantage on. All right, as fire starts to erupt up one of the side legs, the house fails its save and takes the full damage. All right, Ave back in play. That is going to be his turn. Saga, you are up.
Alrighty. So can I see the flames that are beginning to grow around everything?
Yes,
There.
from where you are, you can see
All right.
the flames.
All right. She's currently right now covered in this like iridescent glow kind of stuff. That's her mage armor, keeps her protected, and she's going to kind of bring together some more of that glowing energy and try to send it towards the creature. It's going to be a 2nd level chaos bolt. We'll see how that goes.
Let's
Um, Yes. Alrighty. So it's going to be. Well, I have to roll to hit first, don't I? That's a good idea.
What did you roll? What was the number on the dice?
The dice is a 4,
Okay.
but would a 10 hit?
A 10 does not hit.
Alrighty. Well, just moved a little too far back. Guess I'll just keep going backwards then.
All right, you take.
Try
you
to-
keep going.
Yeah, try to get a good vantage point from afar. Keep going, guys. All right, that's my turn.
All right. It is now Tordrek's turn, who is going to do Sacred Flame again. And the house succeeds this time. So no effect. All right, that is his turn. It is now the house's turn. Nana, you are now alone inside of the house. And the eye, you can see it like swiveling in the socket and then turns its focus to you. And that tongue moves and makes its way to you.
No.
With over a 20, I think that is
Gee.
yes.
Well, I guess so.
7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ouch.
It is going to attempt to free its leg.
Mm-hmm.
No cigar. As you can see the ground starting to it's almost like suction cupped in place as it's trying to free a leg. So that is all it can do for right now. Roshan, you are up.
It worked so well last time, so I think Roshan will send his arms wide and shatter the house again. So needs to make a Constitution saving throw at disadvantage since it is house.
Since
You know
it
when
is
your
house, I'm an incredible doctor.
Hey, house walks with a limp.
It's a good thing for the disadvantage. The first roll was a natural 20.
The flames make it look like it's going faster.
16.
That will do it. But it takes half damage, which
All right.
is 5 whole damage points.
All right.
As just a loud, thunderous, doesn't sound like an earthly noise, shatters through it.
As it hits, you can see that like different like icicles and bit of ice kind of explode off of it. All right. Anything else, Roshan?
Could I from my vantage, I probably couldn't see Nana get hit.
No,
Okay.
she is above you and inside.
Out of sight, she's fine.
She's probably fine in there.
She's probably just fine.
Fen, you are up.
So I'm on the front of this house now, so I can see through the door. From my vantage point, can I see this little eyeball creature that's
You are
tongue
10
lashing
feet.
my friend?
You're 10 feet below. You can see where the door is, but you can't see inside where the thing is.
Okay. Well, same spot that I was aiming at before. I'm gonna, with my bonus action, drop Zephyr Strike and cast Hunter's Mark
Okay.
on the soft bits below, and try using Sharpshooter again
Okay.
on the soft bits, which will be a 14 to hit.
A 14 does not hit. All
That
right.
will be the end of my action.
As you've started to like pierce arrows in, it's just hitting the broadside of the wood, not hitting it into any weaker parts of the body. All right, Nana.
I want to. The tongue hit me, but it didn't grapple me. Is that right?
It did not grapple you.
Okay. I want to lob my torch as directly onto the thing that is covered in corruption as I can. Goltheg's light help you. God knows nothing else will.
All right, go ahead and roll. Roll like you're throwing a spear for me. I'll take that.
All right. Cool.
It's a spear,
already
but
know
it's
how-
small and on fire.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. See, it's like a light up spear. You see? Ooh. All right. Does an 18 hit?
An 18 does hit.
Fantastic. I don't know what to roll for damage on that. Just like spear?
I will. No, not like spear. It's going
Torch
to just
is a
be some
D4.
fire damage.
Fair enough.
Gonna-
And
I'm going to roll an accumulative fire damage each time on my turn.
cool. All
For
right.
how much the house is taking from torches just being heated at it.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And having done that, Nana's going to backtrack out of the house as fast as she can and reconvene. Where is everybody around the outside of the house?
So everybody is on the front side of the house. To an extent, you don't see Saga anywhere, but everybody is below. So nobody is on the same level as you.
Okay. How far will 40 feet take me to get like to ground level? Will that get me there?
30 feet gets you to ground level.
Cool. And I was maybe like, 5 feet inside the house when I was getting Gorbjorn back out. So I think I can get there and then kind of regroup with the rest of the group.
Yeah, you can back
Um,
up a couple feet.
All right. All right. What's the play? Do we need to just keep lobbing fire at it, or is there anything more sophisticated we want to do?
I propose we kill it.
Yes, I believe we're getting there, Fen. Let's figure out how.
All right, we are going to move on to Gorbjorn.
So is there a second story to this house?
It is only one story.
Alright, so then I'm just gonna throw like the torch on top of the roof.
Okay, go ahead and give me a roll to throw your torch, please.
Roll to yeet torch.
Any advantages or anything?
I'll let you use strength.
Okay, cool. So that's a 10 then.
What is it?
A 10.
Okay. So you pull back, throw the torch, kind of misjudge it a little bit, and it like bops against like the side of the steps and kind of rolls back to the bottom of the stairs. So it doesn't go out or completely fly away, but now it is sitting next to the house, which inevitably sitting there, it could eventually catch it on fire, but is not actively burning it.
No, I'll go back and pick it up.
Okay.
That'll be my turn.
You throw it, watch it, and you kind of push past Nana and Fen, just right between them, and just pick it back up. All right. Ave is next. He is going to come forward. All right. Ave places his hand on the crest that holds his cloak together and squeezes it, and just an explosion of sound happens in the center of the house. And it fails. Takes 5 points of damage. All right. Ave is going to start moving in to be closer with the group. It is now Saga's turn.
Do you want me to roll a wild magic surge for the last spell that I cast last round? Or
Would you like to roll it separate? That's why I asked you what your number was on your on your attack die.
okay.
Unless
thought
it
it was a
asks for
separate.
separate. I'm fine with separate.
Yeah, I think it is supposed to be separate, but I'll just quickly roll something. Yeah, it's fine. It's a 12.
Okay.
So kind of looking at her hands, like shake them a bit. I don't know why isn't confusion. Try again. Maybe it'll work this time. And try to do another chaos bolt. Again at second level, I guess.
Okay. Roll for wild magic then.
Oh, you want me to do that first? Or you want me to roll first?
Yeah, roll it first.
Okay, roll the hit first. So, that one is going to be a 23.
23 hits.
Yes. Okay, and then the surge is a 19. So we're
all right
there. Okay. Okay, great. So that's going to be. Alrighty. So, chaos bolts. So it can be fire or force. I am going to go. I see that people are setting it on fire. You said that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'll go ahead and pick fire for that damage, and it's going to be 8, 11, 16 points of damage.
All
Fire
right.
damage.
Doubled. Oof.
Yeah.
Taking a hard hit. The back side of the house, you all standing on the front, you watch as the backside explodes in fire that kind of has like a bit of sparkle, iridescent, kind of holographic shine around the edges.
Mm-hmm. And then you hear a woo off in the distance. It's like really far back now. It's continuing to back up on this turn as well.
All right. You are off my board and going.
Yeah.
Saga is gone.
Support from afar.
It is Tordrek's turn. And he is going to do bless at second level. All right, who wants to bless? All right, there you go. He is going to bless Nana and Gorbjorn. There you go. You can add his bless gives you a D4.
Nice. Cool. And that goes to attack rolls and skill checks?
Saving throws.
Saving throws.
Saving throws and
no damage, no death saves.
Okay.
You guys are doing fine. Moving along to the house, who is going to try and free its legs. So, Gorbjorn, as you move forward to go pick up this torch in the background, you hear, woo! And then one of the legs in front of you gets pulled free from the ground and takes a swing at you instantly. Let's see. The first one, completely wide. It almost trips itself up. If a house could slip and go prone, it might.
We were kind of hoping it would.
I'm like kind of dedicated to trying to tip it over now.
Forget the torches, tip the house.
House tipping. It's a new sport.
All right. And you are, the first attack misses, the second one hits. You take 10 points of bludgeoning damage. And then you all watch as from the entrance, you see like, just hear like kind of a high-pitched, kind of like the sound that wood makes when it's alight, but it's mixed with the scream from inside the house as the tongue starts to make its way out and over and down the edge. It's also going to attack Gorbjorn. With a natural 20. You take 8 points of damage.
80?
8.
Oh my God. You die instantly.
Well, he's dead. All right, roll new characters.
Oh,
No, I'm relentless. I'm gonna have work.
You're like, I'm still here.
That's fine.
And I need you to make a strength saving throw, please.
With advantage because of bless, right?
Plus a
No, it
D4.
just adds a D4, but I mean, it's already a 16, so
Okay. I mean,
18.
may as well.
You watch as it wraps around your arm again and tries to like lift you upwards back into the house, but just it's kind of just like, all right, and, like you just kind of free your arm, like no.
That
like-
house.
Okay, so now the house has one leg free. It's not the rope legs. The rope legs are kind of stuck in place at the moment. This is one off on the opposite side, in the front of the house. So front leg not roped. That is the house's turn. Roshan.
Roshan will finally get some sense back into him and look up at the house and say, "What are you made of? Balsa wood?" And it needs to roll a wisdom saving throw.
God, I hope it fails. I just
I
want
just
its
want the whole
feeling
party
hurt.
to chime in. Oh!
Well, it's about to be Ash, so
Well, it gets a 2 with its natural 1 that it rolled. So
All right, well, it takes
Oh.
4 psychic damage,
Hey.
as well as having disadvantage on its next attack. And I will do my best to remind you.
that is great. Thank you.
And then I will look to Gorbjorn and say, "I hope that thing didn't hurt you too bad," and cast Healing Word. And you get 7 whole hit points back.
Woo!
Woo! 7
I look over and I cough up a little blood. I'm like, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Nice.
Fen, you are up.
all right. So backing up a little bit,
Uh-huh.
is there a way I can get a vantage and see that creature inside at all?
The only way you're going to get vantage to see that thing is if you get level,
Okay.
because it's flat to the ground.
Okay. No, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. Try and use sharpshooter again at the underside. And that will be a -5, 16 to hit.
16 just hits.
Thank you. Plus 3, 7. Sorry, bad maths. 11 points of damage with the hunter's mark.
All right. I don't know if you guys can hear the music, but that's what I'm jamming out to.
Yeah.
Just me. Just me and my music.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the end of Fenn's turn.
All right. you let loose an arrow, this time being able to angle it just so that it hits right under the lip of the house.
You know what? I add 10 to that because I did use sharpshooter. So
Jeez,
so 21
okay.
points of damage. All right. Sorry. I knew there was a reason I was taking 5 off every shot I took.
As it strikes into the underbelly of this house, it's like a torrent of black ooze explodes from the bottom and just drenches the ground below it. And the scream of this monster rips through the house again, as it's just now like leaking from the underside as its one leg is like gnashing out and the tongue coming from the entrance.
Yeah, and I'm using my movement to kind of back up as much as I can.
All right. You, I will tell you, just because you can't see, if you back up, one of the legs is free. It'll take opportunity attacks against you.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I'll stand strong.
Okay.
Is Zephyr Strike not active
No,
anymore?
I dropped it for
Yeah.
100.
Oh, you dropped it. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. All right. Nana, you're up.
All right. Well, I'm the one who's supposed to be in there fighting up close anyway. Nana doesn't particularly feel like losing her spears in a fiery inferno of a living house. She wants to put her spears away and pull out her longbow. She doesn't use it much, but in cases like this, she'd rather lose an arrow than a spear.
I have a bonus action to take it out.
I want to advance. What kind of an angle can I take on the house that might give me a similar vantage point to what Fen just had on its underside?
You are currently in a very similar spot to Fen.
Okay. Can I kind of get an angle on it? Can I see that in order to shoot it?
You can see that underbelly, yes.
Okay, cool. Is there any active fire close enough by that I might be able to like kind of get that arrow going a little bit before I fire it?
I'm holding one.
Yeah.
That'll work.
He is in front of you. Gorbjorn is standing in front of you holding a torch, and you're like, all right.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's going, if you hit the creature's AC, you still hit the creature, but I am amping up the AC a good bit to hit through the torch. So if you roll higher than its AC by a certain number that I'm going to write down, you can get fire arrow to the underbelly.
This
Go
will be
ahead and roll it.
ridiculous, but I'll give it a go. And I get to apply my bless to this, yes?
Yes, you have
All
bless.
right. Let's see. 19 to hit?
As you pull back on your short bow, you let loose, and aiming for the torch, you see it goes right past it. But you do hit the underbelly.
All right, that's fair.
I set the DC as 20, so I was like, oh, it's so close.
Fine. It's cool. It's fine.
It's fine. I'll do it again later. It's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it, guys. Can I, is there enough time left in my action to knock another arrow and maybe like hold it out so perhaps it can kind of catch a little bit on the torch before I knock it and fire on the next round?
I'm going to say with a natural 20, sure. This arrow is going to last for like half a second. So
That's
it's going to, you're never going to see this arrow again.
Nope.
I can't promise it won't unlight, but you currently
That's
have
fair.
an arrow on fire.
All right. That's all I wanted.
I can't promise it'll do what you want, but you have a fiery arrow at the moment.
Okie dokie.
Great. Gorbjorn, you're up.
So seeing how this torch is doing better for Nana than me, I'm just gonna drop the torch and take out Fang. And I'm gonna run into the house raging, screaming like it's like
All
just
right.
blind rage, nothing really knowing what to say, just screams out, OSHA! And
OSHA?
and
As in, this is an OSHA violation?
and he doesn't know what that is. And 16 to hit with empowered Grit Weapon Master's attack.
That hits the AC. Go ahead.
Woo!
Oh yeah, so that's 27 damage.
Nice.
Wow, wait.
All right.
I rolled
Woo!
max.
That's good.
Attaboy.
Gorbjorn just runs up the steps screaming. And you just hear the sound of metal hitting wood and flesh as he just runs up.
Oh, gee.
All right, is that your turn?
Yeah, that's my turn.
All right, Ave is up. He is going to come over and make
You
a
could have
range-
been chopping down the leg.
This thing
I
keeps
am-
trying to attack me. I'm just gonna get rid of it.
Yeah, okay.
If it keeps bopping me, I'm gonna bop it. That hits. Ooh, that's a shit ton of damage.
The Spire tactic is too smart for Gorbjorn.
Oh boy.
Guiding bolt. All right, he hits with guiding bolt, so the next attack against the house has advantage.
Woo!
Watch as a light sort of glows around the house. So whoever wants to take that, by all means, and the house takes a buttload of damage. All right, the house is starting to, like, you watch as the legs are like bending inwards and the body is sort of twisting. It seems to be struggling as it now is basically fully ablaze.
Haha.
All right, Saga, you are up.
It's glowing so brightly.
Might as well hit it.
Might as well try to hit it again. This time I have a very good vantage point from like 100 feet away.
Yep.
Ooh, good thing we had advantage because that natural one is just going to be pushed off to the side. And we'll just take
Taking
care of
that
this.
dice later.
That'll be a 22.
22 hits.
Yeah. And then Magic Surge. Oh, yeah, the second level Chaos Bolt. Okay, Magic Surge was at a 4, so we're still good there.
Okay.
Everything's fine.
We'll get that wild magic one day.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. Alrighty, let's see. So I have the option between cold and psychic, and it's it's pretty cold here, and it's supposed to be hot, so I should probably not make it colder. So we'll try to go for psychic. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 points of psychic damage.
Ooh, okay. The house itself doesn't seem to react, but there is just a scream that erupts from the inside.
All right. How far away am I by now?
A little over 100 feet.
Oh yeah, keep going.
All right. There you go. Keep pushing.
Yep.
All right. It is Tordrek's turn. And that's concentration. Sacred Flame. It no longer has disadvantage. It succeeds. Just blasting off like holy light at it, just hoping that it'll help. It is now the house's turn.
First attack at disadvantage.
All right, the first attack is against Gorbjorn inside the house. It's a disadvantage. Lucky for that disadvantage, it misses. As the tongue followed you like back up and is trying to wrap around you, you kind of block it with your sword, keeping it from wrapping around. It is going to try and free its other leg. Nope. But it is going to take a swing at Nana with its free leg.
All right.
I'm assuming an 11 does not hit you.
It does not.
Does a 13 hit you?
It does not.
All right, just whoosh of this leg as you duck under it twice.
You'll have to do better than that.
It looks, if a house had emotions, which it almost seems like it does not seem to be doing well. As you can hear the snap of wooden boards from above starting to fall inwards on the house. Gorbjorn, you could see it in front of you as the backside of the interior of the house is fully ablaze. As you continue to hit down on this creature in the middle. That is its turn. Roshan, you are up.
Roshan looks up at the house with ire in his eyes and says, I've seen more character in a campfire, and I need it to roll wisdom again.
Perfect.
That's great.
Okay, 14.
That is the DC.
Okay,
So it just kind of feels bad.
This house's feelings are officially crushed. The self-esteem of the house is non-existent.
And then, which of my friends looks to be hurt the most? Is it still Gorbjorn?
Yeah.
Can I see Gorbjorn?
Probably.
You, from where you are currently, cannot see Gorbjorn. He is inside the house.
Could I reasonably back up a bit to see Gorbjorn?
Let's see. I would say if you go your full movement,
Yeah,
that you
I'll
can
do that.
just see like the top of his head a little bit.
Yeah.
You're like, there.
And I will shout out, bold choice to go into the belly of the beast. Be safe, and you can have 5 healing or 6 healing.
There you go.
Ooh.
All right.
And that is my turn.
We are back at the top. Fen.
Ben's gonna knock another arrow and take a shot with sharpshooter at the same spot he aimed at last time.
All right.
And he's gonna miss.
All right. As the house is thrashing, so it's hard to get a bead on it.
No, you all right?
Yeah, doing fine. I'll live.
All right. How far am I from Ave?
From Ave, about 15 feet.
Okay, and is he out of reach of the house?
He is not out of reach.
All right.
But he's about the same distance that you and Nana are.
All right, I'm gonna back up to him and start trying to kind of pull him a little further away.
Okay. You make your way over to him and start to try and make some movement with him. He will fight you if you try to move him. He seems to be standing his ground and not wanting to move backwards.
All right, well, I'm not gonna wrestle with the guy. I'm just gonna try and let him know that I want him to move and stand beside him.
Okay. So you take place beside him. He does look at you and he kind of gives you like an understanding nod. But he does not seem like he wants to back up. All right.
All right, that's my turn.
Nana, you are up.
All right. I want to use my flaming arrow and try and shoot that onto the roof where Gorbjorn was trying to throw his torch earlier.
Okay. I'm giving you disadvantage. You still have bless, but you are now currently wielding an on fire arrow. So I'm going to give you disadvantage.
Okay. We'll see what the die. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, that's not the worst, honestly, with disadvantage. I rolled a 6 plus bless 4 plus 5 to hit, total of 15 to hit.
15 does not hit.
Okay, that's fine. Never mind. No more cleverness.
Yeah. And I love cleverness. I think cleverness is great. You take 3 points of fire damage.
Me?
Yeah.
From
Just right on the
whomst?
thingy.
Oh. Cool.
anything else after I broke your heart?
That's fine. That's fine. I want to let me see. Who is immediately closest to me?
Closest to you, Fen is right next to you. Next to him is Ave, and behind you is Tordrek.
Okay. All right. I'm just going to knock another arrow and kind of like take a couple steps. Take a couple steps away from them, trying to lead off the one leg that was swiping at me earlier.
Okay,
Come
so
on! You couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, never mind a girl.
All right, so you're staying within range. You're just kind of moving along the side.
Yeah.
Okay. Gorbjorn, you are now inside of this burning house.
I still attack the thing in front of me with the empowered. Oh, that's gonna be enough.
Gorbjorn, do you
It
need help?
it does not hit.
That's my turn.
All right. Just wildly slashing at it, hitting or not. It is Ave's turn. You tell him to, you kind of use your body language to insist that he should back up. He looks at you, gives you that understanding nod. He runs past you, and he is going to run up into the house with Gorbjorn.
What are you doing?
Isn't it like on fire? Is that a
Yeah.
The back side of it's on fire, not
The
like
house.
the entrance. So, but the house is on fire. Yeah.
Yeah,
The house is on fire. We don't need no water.
He is going to come inside, and he places a hand on you. For 12 points of healing.
Oh wow,
Gorbjorn,
full. Like exactly full now.
Nice.
Gorbjorn, I think we should step outside. But that is the end of his turn, chilling in there with you. All right. Saga, you are up.
Oh, is there a house near me that looks sturdy enough that I could parkour up the side onto the roof? Like acrobatics, kind of like go from like a barrel to like onto the roof, because they're like a little, it's old, they're like sunk in or something.
They're all on stilts, though.
I'm going to say there is a house near you. It is on stilts. It is sunken a little bit. I'm going to say acrobatics DC 15 to just like parkour up onto the roof.
Okay, is that like movement or action, or what is that?
You know what? I'll take it as your movement.
Alrighty, I'll try.
It's just a difficult ramp.
Yes. That's gonna be a 15. I rolled an 11. I have +4.
There you go.
Yeah.
You see it and just make a beeline towards it and just kind of run up the side. It's at a bit of an angle, so it's not like 90 degrees. But you're now on the roof.
Sweet. I plop down into a little crisscross applesauce, and I send a few more chaos bolts from over there.
All right. Go ahead.
It's just going to be a first level because I'm out of the rest of them. Oh, looks like I used my good rolls to do the other stuff. Do I get anything from being at a really good advantage point here? Advantage? Well, it's going to be a 10 even.
It does not hit. It's not the best vantage point. It's a good vantage point, but you're basically level with the house to an extent. So it's not like you have too much of the high ground.
All right. Well, I'll just roll. Yeah, magic surge is fine. So
okay. It looks really cool, though.
Yeah, I'll just sit up and keep an eye.
You're like, you guys got this. Keep it up.
Yeah.
All right. It is now Tordrek's turn. And he is going to he pulls out his warhammer and he runs forward and he's going to hit at the leg that has the rope around it. And he's just going to try and bop it out. All right. That hits.
Yeah.
For 8 points of damage, and just like a huge chunk of the leg breaks off, and now it's like kind of that leg is wobbling and struggling to stay afoot, and it can't really move to balance itself because of the rope. So the house is a bit more wobbly and looking
Like it may fall prone.
like it could possibly, perhaps, but it does not look good. It is a wobbly house on fire.
Mm. This house is on fire.
All right.
Oh no.
It's now the house's turn. It is going to take its attack against Ave. That hits. He is going to take 9 points of damage. He is going to try and resist the grapple. What is my modifier for strength, please? Oh, that's so sad. With his -1, it wraps around his arm, pulls him forward past you, Gorbjorn, and like he starts to go like into this mouth, and he is taken inside.
Huh? Oh! No!
He is going to take wow, that's really bad. He takes 7 points of acid damage with the 1s and 2s that I just rolled.
I thought
All
you
right.
meant bad for us.
He is now inside the underbelly.
That's not good.
Yeah, the people on the other side can see that it like fills out a bit, and because it has been pierced, you can see inside a bit, and you can tell somebody has fallen inside.
Oh no.
I thought he was just gonna fall through
He just falls completely through.
the slide.
Oh boy.
That is. Oh, the house is not done. I am not done.
Oh no.
I am going to make an attack against Fen, which hits for 8 points of damage. And I'm going to do attack against Tordric, which misses. You can hear the snap of wood, and at this point, you can see that leg that Tordric took a chunk out of, you can see the last of it kind of just snaps from the added weight and pressure and shifting of its body. And now it's on 3 legs, and very much possible go prone or turn into a big pile of ash. That's where it is currently. Saga, you are up. Or just kidding. Sorry, I made Ave do things and I got confused. Roshan, you are up.
Roshan says, I take that back. I've seen more character in a toothpick. And
Where?
need it to roll again.
Got an 8 on its wisdom throw.
All right.
I mean,
Well,
those
it
mint flavored
takes
toothpicks.
3 psychic damage, and its feelings are really, really hurt.
I love it.
What a time. As you hurl these insults towards this house, which is ablaze, screams emitting from it, you see that it is literally on its last leg. How do you take care of it? How do you finish this house with your words of your rude words?
Cutting
Words.
words.
It's always cutting words.
I think the shag tongue just kind of flops, and then it just starts to fall apart into just a bunch of different pieces.
Just
You took it apart at the ego level.
Yeah.
you yell these words at it, which resonates inside the house, and it breaks apart. And you watch Gorbjorn, you can see after Ave disappeared inside that it's almost like the head of the creature inside just kind of melts. And for a moment, it looks so sad. It doesn't have a lot of face to work with, but there's a moment of sadness right before it fades out and its eyes roll back. Now you are just inside of a flaming house.
Oh, okay.
And I will keep the initiative going just so we can see how everybody deals with this real fast. Fen, what would you like to do?
All right, so you said Ave got pulled into the underbelly.
Yes.
Is this like a tube that leads into the ground, or is it just like a bladder that is underneath
it's
it? Or
more like a bladder.
okay, so Fen is gonna, and I saw Ave get sucked in, and I saw this underbelly bladder grow like it's.
Yeah, you saw somebody fell
Okay.
in.
Alley-oop.
So I am gonna drop my hunter's mark and re-up Zephyr Strike, and I am running as fast as I can with my kukri out, and I'm gonna try and slash this thing open to try and get this underbelly open to get Ave out of there.
Okay, currently the house is no longer alive. I'll give you advantage because it's just stationary.
All right, you want attack and damage with those,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
with one of them?
Yeah.
Go ahead. You want attack and damage rolls for?
Oh, yes,
for-
please. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was just like,
All right. 22 to hit
that hits.
and 6 points of damage.
All right. There's already a hole that you can pierce, and you just rend open the bottom side of this like sack of flesh, and Ave spills out.
Ave!
You can see just kind of like burning of like the acidic juices on him, and he's like, fine, and he coughs. Fine. Gorbjorn, from your vantage point, you can see that Ave has gotten out.
Okay, cool.
I would assume that you also leave the house.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Easy enough with a hand from Fen and whoever runs over. You're able to get Ave up and away from the house, which now has fully alighted and has started to cave in on itself and break, and is now a large bonfire in front of you. And that is where we are going to take our break. We will be back in 10 minutes to get back to the rest of the story to see what is to come after this fight with a corrupted house and a sad woman inside. Thank you. We'll be right back. 10 minutes. Welcome back to On the Backs of Gods. Thank you for sticking around if you did, and if you're new, thank you for tuning in. Sadly, Ray, Saga had to go, but she will be with us in spirit, and we have to continue onwards. Where we left off, all of you are now standing in front of this inferno that is this house that is slowly burning to the ground. No longer any movement. It is just the sound of the wind and the crackling of fire and splitting of wood. And you all can kind of see in the background as Saga kind of a little wobbly, kind of tightropes down off of the house off in the distance and slowly starts to make her way back over to the group. She's about like 130 feet away, so she's casually walking back now. Ave is covered in like this black goop and is trying to like wipe it off as best he can.
Nana's kind of like going in there with like she's surely got a water flask on her, and she's kind of like dousing a part of her cloak in that and kind of like trying to wipe some of the gunk off.
Yeah.
Oh, Nana, save it. So I'll make my way over to Ave, and my new cantrip this level is prestidigitation. So I will start cleaning him of his acidic goo and say, yeah, so I finally figured out what you meant when you were trying to teach me the spell, and I sorry I didn't understand it then, but I think we're on the same page now. See, it works.
He's staring at you while you do this, and you watch as his eyes begin to water. And the second he's clean enough, he wraps his arms around you and pulls you close. And he speaks into your, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry I left you. And is holding you close to him.
Roshan will return the hug and say, just next time, don't go in the belly of the beast. Save that for Gorbjorn.
Gorbjorn's much better suited. He's got very sturdy disposition, you know? Don't scare us like that again, brother.
Of course, I'm sorry. He pulls back a bit and he smiles and he like cups your chin and kisses your forehead. And he kind of tries to calm himself down. You could see the tears have now started to freeze to his face a bit.
Oh, don't do that.
Ave,
It's going to itch later.
Ave, I think you need to be more careful. Your village needs you. Your wife needs you. Your unborn child needs you. And to put it quite frankly, we don't know what we're doing out here if you were to fall, and this would all be for naught. We're relying on your guidance. If you're dead, we've come this way for nothing.
He turns to face you. He nods. I understand. I'll do better.
Just please keep yourself out of harm's way.
You can direct us any way you like. You've got adventuring experience and we haven't. Perhaps more a consultant role would be better for just the moment while we're in the belly of the beast, as it were. No pun intended.
My title and my position, my marriage and child do not put me on a separate level. I will not stand on the sidelines, but I will do my best to stay safe. You are not pawns to be pushed around. We are here as companions.
Of course we are.
And we each have our role to play, but your role is to guide us. We don't know what we're doing out here. We don't know what we hope to accomplish in this very village, let alone ascending those stairs.
Of course. I will tell you I was keeping this mostly to myself, but I do have, I think it would have been silly of me. I do have a scroll on my person with instructions. But I'm keeping that on my person.
But had you been digested by that house, we would not have access to that scroll.
Left us rather in the lurch, brother.
I'll tell you, the goal is to, he motions now to what you can see is that white sort of snow-covered bridge emerging from the lake. The goal is to follow that, and that takes us to the oasis. Job done. And he smiles and he starts to make his way towards Saga.
Should we look around this village and see if there's anything worth taking while we're here? This may be our last chance to renew our supplies.
Whatever's left. We may as well look. I'm going to look in on Saga a moment and join you again in a moment.
Right, if anybody wants to look around, I will take investigation or perception. Nana, what are you doing?
Wants to jog after Ave to give Saga just a quick look over, make sure that she isn't hurt.
Oh, I'm fine.
That's a relief. You seem to give us some excellent assistance through all of that. Thank you very much.
Oh, yes. At least half of them hit.
It was excellent. You made some very stellar hits. Just keep it up and do continue being careful, yes?
Of course. And then she wanders off towards another house.
Okay. Then that done, Nana will go and kind of help look around the village, see if there's any supplies to be had, anything that can be scrounged up or foraged, or any sign of, I suppose, anything out of sorts or out of anything different.
Okay. All right, whoever gave me investigation or perception rolls, what do we got?
You got a 16.
16.
Ooh.
Oh, double 16 all the way.
High five here, Gorborn.
Anybody else?
16 as well, as it turns
Oh.
out.
I would like all three of you, to roll me a D20 again, no add-ons.
D20, no add-ons.
2.
8.
14.
All right. As all of you are looking around, Fen, as you walk into one of the houses, you can feel the board give under your foot a bit, and it looks like it's not a trap door, but it seems to be hollow under one spot of the floor.
Okay, I pry that board up.
Yeah, easy, and it like almost breaks apart like paper in some parts. It's just waterlogged and frozen and broken. Inside of it, you see it has a bit of, not a bit, but is basically completely rusted and frozen shut at the moment. You see a small, ornate metal box. Would you like to open it?
Yeah, is it locked or is it just a...
Nope, it just seems to be, it doesn't have a lock on it.
Okay, yes, I would like to open it. Very
Okay.
much so.
Yeah, it takes a second because of the ice, but easy enough to break it open. Inside of it, you find, it looks like it was somebody's savings at some point. There are 20 gold pieces, 25 silver pieces, and 56 copper, all just kind of pushed inside this box together.
All right. Roshan, are you around?
So
Lean out the
Roshan has kind of been trying to keep an eye on any woods or anything, because the last time he cast Shatter, we were almost accosted by a corrupted bear. So he's just been keeping an eye out.
Roshan, could you give me perception real fast?
Sure. 16.
Okay.
16's rule of the day.
With another 16, you currently do not see anything.
Okay,
Um,
good.
Perfect.
Roshan, I've seen you play several times in the tavern, and I very rarely carry coin on me. I know that you play for money and tips, and I feel bad for not engaging in that custom. And I just hand the box to him. I hope this makes up for it. I don't really know the value of this.
Roshan will look, and this is probably more than he's ever had at one point.
Mm-hmm.
So he looks up at Fen and this is far too much for a tip. He just kind of stammers.
Keep it, friend. I have very little use of it.
Well,
It's true, you know. Rangers hardly ever need money.
then I owe you a drink when we make it back to civilization.
Oh, well, hopefully I can take you up on that.
All right. Roshan, as you opened it up to look inside at the coin, something catches your eye. And at the bottom, you can see a little piece of braided fabric It looks like because it got sandwiched between some gold pieces and then frozen against it, it saved it from most of the decay. Not all of it, but some of it. It looks like, to an extent, a bracelet that a child would have made.
I'll take it out and inspect it. Is it, I don't think he would put it on yet, but is there anything else interesting about it?
As you look it over, it looks like maybe if a younger child was with their mother while they were sewing, or and it's just like, it looks like extra pieces of fabric. It's not individual string, so it's like 3 different colored fabrics braided together and shaped to be a bracelet.
I'll keep it in my back pocket just for a rainy day.
Okay, and you place it in your pocket, and now you have a metal container of some gold, silver, and copper.
All right. I hope it's not too heavy.
You're probably fine. It's probably fine. We have a whole sled.
Are there corpses about this village? Does it look like most people left? Or does it look like they died here when this cataclysm happened?
Well, surely they would have been corrupted if they'd been dead.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm trying to establish before we get too comfy.
Fen, you kind of take a glance around, getting an eye on each house. Nobody else seems to have been here. It was just that one woman. All right. Does everybody think we've had a good enough look? Are we ready to deal with the bridge?
Well, I think this might be as good a place as any to stay the night. There are actual structures here, maybe set off at first light tomorrow, unless anyone thinks that we should start ascending now with what little daylight remains to us.
What does the bridge lead into? Like, where does it go from here?
If you look at the bridge, it's like lake, bridge, and it lifts up a bit over the lake and then just right into the mountain. It does not look like it goes into the mountain, but it is like a road up it.
Do you think we could get to the mountain before tomorrow or nightfall?
You could probably get like up the bridge a good bit and onto the mountain before nightfall, but you would have like just gotten
there. I'll leave the decision up to our rangers.
Can we scout around the area and kind of like figure out how difficult would it be to make that a safe place to stop?
Which spot?
I guess probably like if I'm following the description right, and I might not be, let me know.
Yeah.
You were saying I also trying my best, but getting up to the top of the bridge, you said would take us about the remainder of our sunlight, and at the top of the bridge, you said there seemed to be kind of a platform up there. Is that right?
It's not a platform. That's where it hits mountain.
Oh, that is where it hits the mountain itself, and then we're kind of.
It's not like a bridge up like that, and then a platform. It like kind of eventually kind of hits into the mountain and goes up and away into it.
The bridge itself goes inside the mountain?
It does not go inside the mountain.
Okay, it's just the exterior. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
From what you can see.
Ave,
Go ahead.
Ave, aside from being the base of this staircase, what is the significance of Galone?
Sadly, information is not the easiest to find. literally it was one passage that I found about Galone. I can only infer that they were either religiously inclined to the area, or maybe some sort of protectors or people who found power in this place. Because they are built so closely to the bridge, I can only assume that they found significance with it.
No, I feel we should stay here this evening. There are structures here that can block the wind. We can build fires, and we're somewhat fortified here. I think we should start our traverse of the bridge, of the staircase, whatever it is, tomorrow morning. Do you agree? We're all
Rather think
exhausted from the
so.
fight we just had.
Honestly, I think that we would have a much harder time finding a viable camp somewhere on the mountain face, and we've spent time enough exploring here that I worry daylight won't carry us to anywhere more viable.
All right, I suppose we're staying here then.
I recommend that we find one house, fortify it, ensure that we can maintain its integrity, and keep watch from it, and keep any fires out of sight. I don't think it's a good idea for us to advertise that the long-lost village is inhabited again.
Well, I was just inside it. Well, I wasn't inside of it, but I was on top of the roof, and the roof didn't cave in under me. So it might be a good house.
We can take a look at it. Thank you, Saka.
And is there any of that rope that the 50-foot of rope I used to try and trip up that house, is that salvageable in any sort of way?
By
No.
this point, no.
Okay.
That rope's
I happen to
fine.
have an extra length of rope, I do believe.
I think there was a lot in the climbing kits that we had. I just don't like wasting resources if we don't have to, but
Yeah,
that's fine.
that rope bit the dust. It kept that house in place for a good long while, though.
Very helpful. Very appreciated.
Is the house still smoldering, blazing? What's the state of it?
It has hit its peak and it is on its way out.
Okay. Is there anything that, a quick little poke through or look around can reveal about it, or did everything just go up in smoke?
Roll investigation real fast.
Oh, I think it'll be good. 6.
All right. You poke around. It's just fire. It's just fire. It's just charred wood. And it kind of looks like when blood gets into a fire and kind of sticks onto something and gets like syrupy. A lot of syrup. All right. Should we go to the house? Set up?
Yes, I think that's the best course of action. Let
think
everyone
so,
nurse
too.
their wounds and get some calories in them. If we know what calories are, I'm not sure.
Some victuals.
All right. All of you, after taking a look around, making a plan, all of you make your way the about 130 feet towards where Saga had climbed up and was sniping from above. The house is at a bit of an angle, but it's, instead of like sleeping on the floor, you'd be more like sleeping on the side with the window. But it's easy enough to get inside. It's just not the most right up and down 90-degree house. But it is separated from the ground. The wood is still between it and the ground.
It's just as well. Is there a fireplace inside of this hut? Like a hearth?
You go inside, you do not see one.
What kind of a house doesn't have a hearth in it? Oh, well. I suppose best thing for us to do would be to erect sort of a windbreak with the sled like we've done the last few times we've camped in the wild. We can set up a bonfire underneath that. That can be under the stilts of the house. Should provide us with a little extra wind cover. And let's see.
How frozen is the ground?
There is about 5 inches of snow.
Okay, but is the ground frozen hard like permafrost, or is it? Could we potentially dig a pit in the ground?
It is a good bit frozen, but you could probably get a bit of a pit going.
Okay.
It wouldn't be the easiest, but it would be doable.
Do you know what a Dakota pit is? I know this is kind of out of character and outside of the realm of a. It's basically 2 pits with a little tunnel that joins in between. You build a fire in one of them. The air comes in the other one, and it helps minimize the smoke and the profile of the fire, but helps it burn throughout the night.
I've seen that on, what is it? Primitive Tech? Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So I would say that making a pit is doable because it is not very finesse. The other option sounds like there's a little bit more finesse to it, so it could be more difficult to try and get the tunnel, but you could try.
Yeah, I mean,
Could I help him?
Sure. I'd want a survival check if you want to attempt that. You have advantage from Nana helping. And I believe you have a shovel in the supplies, so that'll help.
All right. Say dirty 20.
Nice.
Yes. It definitely takes you a while. It's difficult to get it going, especially with how solid the ground is. But eventually you are able to build something akin to what you were looking for, a pit next to another pit with something connecting underneath so that it could be diverted.
Okay.
But it does take you close to sunset. So that would be the only thing you're doing tonight before the sun sets.
Okay.
And since I'm helping him, I'm guessing that also takes up all my time prior to sunset. Is that right?
Yeah, that would take your time too if you're helping. But Gorbjorn and Roshan, if there's anything you want to do before nightfall, you can go ahead and tell me.
Being a bit worried about leaving a giant smoke trail to our location, I would probably just want to check the perimeter.
Okay. You start walking the perimeter. Roll perception for me.
That's a 7.
You kind of like guard dog walk the perimeter of the village, at least in the area.
I'm more marking my territory than doing a perimeter search.
You're kind of bowing up if anything can see you. It's like, well, they won't come here now.
Yeah.
But you don't see anything. There's no monstrous polar bear running directly at you this time, currently.
Roshan wouldn't do anything exciting.
Okay.
Can one of our rangers task Roshan with gathering some of this actual tinder that these houses are made of, rather than
Sure.
Anybody that's not doing anything? I think the people that survive in the wild would have them gathering up actual wood while actual wood exists.
Yeah. If not for use in this fire right now, then definitely to set aside in our supplies for when we get up on the mountain.
I'll join you. Tordrek gets up and you, Roshan. So Roshan, go ahead and give me survival, but I'll give you advantage.
Right. Those are 2 9s, so 13.
Okay, not terrible. This is actually the easiest instance where you guys have currently been traveling of finding wood you can actually possibly put in a fire. It's not like it's dry, but there's actually wood instead of whatever the trees are made out of. So you and Tordrek come back with some chunks, just very weird shapes of wood as you all come back, and you put it next to the fire pit.
Yeah.
All right. Who is taking our first watch? Right
Thank you.
before the night falls, my bad. Ave goes over to Roshan. Could I speak to you for a moment, just real fast?
Yeah, of course, sir.
I would appreciate if during one of the watches, it could just be you and me.
Sure.
So whichever one works best for you, I want to be able to talk.
Yeah, of course. Just, I guess we'll ask Fen when he needs his sleep time.
All right, thank you. Okay, who is taking first watch?
Tordrick and Saga.
That makes sense. Oh boy, yeah, that makes sense.
Sure. If that's what you guys want, it's definitely fine.
I feel like they would make an interesting pair. They haven't had many opportunities to interact yet. They will later, I'm sure, but
Are we shipping Tordrick and Saga at this point?
No.
They sit by the fire.
Fen will take watches 2 and 3 unless he's in the way, in which case, he can make himself scarce during one of those if Ave.
So Ro would ask Fen which watches he was taking and say, I think Ave wanted to discuss something, so we'll take whatever watch that you are asleep for.
All right. I'm quite exhausted from everything that's taken place today. If I could please just take this first set to sleep, and then I'll be up for the rest of the night.
Of course.
All right. So Roshan and Ave are first watch.
Yes.
Tordrick and Saga can be second watch. Who would like third watch?
I could take third watch. I don't know if Gorbjorn's planning to have a watch as well, but I wouldn't mind pairing up with him at one point or another.
I don't know, after a fight like that, he'd probably want to sleep for 12 hours.
More than valid, honestly. He was carrying the whole thing.
Yeah. And if Fen's sleeping through the first one, I think he'd be fine. You'd be fine by that watch,
Cool.
so Fen would be there.
Yeah.
All right. As the night
More
approaches,
than fair. Fen and Anna then.
Sorry, it was weird. Your mouth wasn't moving and there were words and they sounded so far away. I was
Mysterious.
like, hello? All right. As the night approaches, everyone can set up the fire. They get their, I don't know exactly if you need the tent per se, because you have a semblance of a home. But you set up for the night. You have a bit of food to eat. And exhausted, some of you instantly knock out. And that leaves Ave and Roshan sitting around the fire in Galone.
Do we need any buffs for this?
Hello.
Would you go ahead, Roshan, and roll me a d12?
Yes. 6.
Okay. You both are sitting there, and Ave is incredibly quiet as he's just kind of zoned out a bit into the fire.
Ro would probably wait a good hour into the watch before asking. So what did you want to discuss, sir?
And he kind of comes out of it. I'm sorry, I asked you to stay up, and I wasn't even talking. Apologies.
It's okay. I don't know if I'll be able to sleep very well tonight anyway.
Understood. They say you can feel, like there's a different feeling when you become a father. And I don't know if that feeling is possible over miles and miles, but But I don't feel any different. But I think that is because I've always been a father.
Rose cheeks, I mean, he probably doesn't have to roll insight to know where this is going. So his cheeks grow a little bit redder, but he stays quiet.
I think of you as family. I always have. I think of you as a son, and I hope that is not strange to say.
I guess I kind of think of you as a father figure, anyway.
It's all right. However you think of me, it's fine. It doesn't have to have a name. I just wanted to tell you that I am incredibly proud of you.
Thank you.
What you have gone through the past couple years. And you have come out on the end a stronger man. And even though I knew you did not want to come here with us, and I knew that it's just not for certain people. It's hardly for me. But you came anyways. And I just wanted to tell you that I am incredibly proud.
Thank you. It means a lot to be here to follow your, well, Gulveg's will, and I'm glad that she trusted me and you trust me, and I trust that you are leading us toward what our village needs.
Right. I will say, just between you and me, maybe a bit more me than Gulveg, but what we're doing is important.
I agree. From what I've seen of these corrupted things, if they're getting close to the village, then something needed to be done.
Of course. And I would always be willing to do whatever it took to help everyone, you know?
And I think that's why you are the chief. I think everyone in the village can see that.
Thank you. There's something else I wanted to tell you.
Of course. What is it?
I spoke to your sister before she left.
So Rose, like, stomach falls like all the way down, all the way out of him onto the ground below the house, like what?
The night she left, she came to talk to me. I will tell you, I had no chance of talking her out what she planned to do. But,
and what did she plan to do?
Well, she didn't give me all of the details. I wish I could tell you more. She just continued to say that it was important and that if she had sworn loyalty to a god, then she was going to follow through with what needed to be done. She has found herself on some sort of mission. I don't know what it is.
You don't think it's something like what Saga's doing, do you?
I don't want this to come out rude in any way. It seems as if Saga's on an endless journey. And I'm not sure if she knows what the end is. But I admire the devotion. I think your sister has an end game in mind. And she felt so strongly about what she was doing. There was no way I could stop her.
She's always been the more strong-willed one, so.
Well, I wouldn't say that. She's a bit hard-headed.
That's a true statement.
I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner.
I'm sure you had your reasons. I bear no ill will towards you because of it. Thanks for telling me.
Of course. The two of you will be together again, I know that.
I've never really given up hope.
Neither have I. I love you dearly.
I love you too, sir.
He gives a little smile.
Ro would go over and, in an attempt to hide his crying, just give him a hug.
You come over, kind of sidle over and give him a hug. He puts his arms around you as well, and kind of like strokes his fingers through your hair. Very, very soothing. And he's not going to mention you're crying because the soft little heaving of shoulders. But he does keep you there he keeps you there for a moment, as you calm down, as you get yourself back together, and then he kind of lets you go.
He just sniffles a little bit and continues staring into the fire, not really knowing what to say next.
Both of you sit there for a while, just silently watching the fire, occasionally taking a glance at your surroundings, even though the situation itself is kind of at the forefront of your mind. He looks over at you. Our shift's almost up. I wanted to ask for your word. I want your word that you will see this to the end.
Of course. I've made it this far, haven't I?
Of course. Doing better than me, honestly. I got eaten by a house.
And practically birthed by the same house.
All in the same day.
Yeah, we'll see this through to the end.
Yes, we will. He stands up and he pats you on the back. All right, let's get the others up so they can start their watch and I can sleep. Are you drained? I'm drained.
It's been a long day.
It has been an incredibly long day. And he makes his way back into the house and he wakes up the second shift crew, which is going to be Tordrek, Saga, and Fen. All right. All of you come out. It is not as windy here as it has been in other places in the valley, but it is a still coldness and a quiet coldness. There's not even much of the sound of the wind, because usually that was the deafening thing that it took over most of your senses at night, but now it is just the crackle of fire and the occasional creak of wood as somebody shifts in the night. Fen, would you roll me a d12, please?
Always hiding. 5.
Okay. Would you go ahead and roll me a perception check? I'm going to give you advantage because your friends are going to help you.
A 21.
All right. You look around, and as you're walking, you occasionally take steps outside of the fire's perimeter to get a look into the dark, I'm assuming. And there's a moment where you glance towards the mountain, and it's only for a split second, so you can't exactly tell what it is, but for a moment, there's a light. Something akin to a shooting star in appearance, almost. There's just a small flash near the top of the mountain.
In the top of the mountain, in the sky, or like between
see
us
it
and the mountain?
in contact with the mountain.
Okay. Toldrick, Saga,
Yes.
did either of you see that?
Saga has taken little pieces of fabric from her bag and has made little finger puppets. No. And then she just kind of pushes them forward a bit. I have these, though.
Don't touch me.
All right.
Have you seen anything in your visions or your dreams about a flash of fire or light upon the mountain?
Well, in my vision, there was talk of a beacon, and there were talks of light and a torch, but it didn't exactly say where.
All right. Out of curiosity, in your visions, was there talk of a shag carpet woman who inhabited a house and brought it to life to fight and nearly kill us?
I would have to say no, but it doesn't always get all of the details.
Very well.
Just the broad strokes.
Toldrick,
Yes.
you come from the mountains. What might have made a flash? Did you see that flash?
I didn't. Something that could make a flash that you could see from here. It would have to be something incredibly bright. It couldn't be a fire or a torch, like Saga was saying.
All right. Keep an eye on that mountain, and if it happens again, let me know what you think it might be. In the meantime, might have a cup of that ale that you make.
I could do that. And he goes over and he gets 3 little cups for everybody. And all of you sit together, finger puppets and all, and drink your ale by the fire with eyes on the mountain.
Just happy to be taking in energy of some sort. Malted barley is fine with me.
You all watch the mountain. Occasionally you can hear Saga sort of talking to herself, kind of muffled, as she has like just 2 fingers having a conversation. And the second shift ends without further event. All right. And Nana, you come out for the 3rd shift. Saga and Tordrick go inside and take the rest of their long rest. And now it is you and Fen. Would you roll me a d12 real fast?
Certainly. That is a 6.
Okay.
Straight down the middle. How was the other shift, Fen?
It was a flash. I thought I saw. No one else did.
Mm.
A flash on the mountain that we intend to climb, up
Where?
towards the top, like a falling star or a bolt of lightning, but not slightly different.
It was something that came down onto the mountain, or
Just
it was just a flash there?
A flash upon the mountain,
Can you point to me where?
right about there. It was for the briefest of moments, and I was the only one amongst us who saw it. The others weren't watching the mountain, and I don't know why I was, but
Mhm.
it was curious.
Very.
It was like lightning, but not.
It was bright as lightning?
It was bright. It was bright enough for me to see it from here.
Strange. Well, I suppose you've got the better eyes between the two of us. Keep an eye on that mountain for this portion of the shift. I'll do my best to keep an eye on what's closer by.
Well, why don't you keep an eye on the mountain, and I'll keep an eye on the dark, since I've already seen what's in the mountain, and hopefully I'll be able to see anything that might be a threat to us in the dark.
Yeah, that's fair. Your
I don't
dark
want to-
vision's only good out to the 60 feet.
I don't want to be lost in my own madness here, seeing things that no one else does. Start taking more shifts for Saga if that were the case.
Well, in fairness, you've always been just a tad skittish on watch anyway.
Does it bother you at all sitting in this village that must have been here 10,000 years? No one's been in the valley for that long since the fight amongst the gods, and the gods fought and died here. And their petty, cruel battle amongst themselves cost this what was otherwise must have been a beautiful village.
And
Look
so much
around
more.
you. Listen to how still it is. And we don't even hear the wind that we did elsewhere.
It's certainly not my favorite place to be, I can tell you that.
It's unsettling.
It is. It certainly is. I
Could
can tell
I
you
get-
that.
Oh, go ahead.
I can tell you that if nothing else, I'll be glad to be back home in Galunda, in my own bed. Longer we're out here.
I have to be honest with you. I know that your brother has a mission for us, and I am not comfortable with the things we've left behind us. That creature in the pit that attacked you,
Don't remind
that
me.
monstrous bear, we've left those in our wake, either to attack us from behind or to descend on our homes without us there to defend them. I have to say, I'm not comfortable with that decision, and I think we should make it a concerted effort when we return to seek out those things and destroy them. This corruption is what brings us here, and I think we need to seek it out and snuff it out.
Such as we can on our way, I have to agree. Probably it'll be in our best interest to create some sort of quick response, something we can fire off at a moment's notice, so that if we are overwhelmed, at least we can do some good final damage, perhaps with, I don't know, a bolt of fire, something. Maybe Ave knows, some sort of spell, something we could contain and wait to set it off until the moment we need it.
Oh, very well. Give it some thought. I think we should make it a point to destroy those things, to find them. We We know where we've been. We should be able to trace our steps back the way we came in.
Certainly that pit's not going anywhere.
Well, hopefully the thing does not leave the pit.
It might be able to travel by night.
All right.
Let me worry about that. You keep an eye out for the bear and whatever else might be coming on us. And in the meantime, I'll watch the mountain.
You split your gaze, one of you keeping your eye on the surroundings, one of you your eye to the mountain. Nana, go ahead and give me a perception check with disadvantage.
No, with disadvantage, unfortunately, I think that's only going to be a 9.
Okay. You stare out into the darkness. To you, it is near pitch black.
I'm trying to face away from the fire just so I don't have it in my eyes while I'm looking, but yeah.
You watch, and the best of your knowledge with where you've been tasked with looking, you do not see any flash of light. All right. And your shift comes to an end. Everyone gets up, has a bit of breakfast, disassembles camp. I'm assuming puts out the fire.
Mm-hmm.
And before you is the frozen lake and the bridge to the Heart of Gods. Are we ready?
As we'll ever be, I think. We shouldn't dally.
Yes.
All right. Let's hope that this lake is very frozen, which I can only assume it is.
I mean, if
as
nothing
long as
else, we can test it.
As long as we steer clear of the area by the front of the bridge where it has melted.
All right. Onwards. Could I get a marching order to start walking when you get to this lake? What is going to be the marching order, and is there anything you're doing as a precaution before stepping out?
I feel as though maybe the Rangers, if not both should take point, then at the very least we should have one up front, one at the back, just in case.
I agree.
All right, who's front, who's back?
Well, I'm the one that usually fights up close. I'll go front.
All right, I'll take the rear.
All right. The rest of the group goes in the center. And all of you start to make your way onto this, who knows how long frozen, thousands of year frozen lake. And you begin to move forward. The first part of the lake has a thick layer of snow on it. So most of the lake it looks like ground, but you can tell by a bit of a few patches that are visible that there is ice underneath. As you make your way forward, there is a bit of a creek that comes from it as all of you step on, but you do not hear any cracking. Even when Gorbjorn pulls the sled on, there is just that creak, kind of a whine, and then, but no splintering sounds.
I do want to be keeping an eye out as we go, kind of minding the bridge as we ascend, looking out for points that might be weaker, points that might be damaged, points that might be weathered, so that I can alert the people behind me. 15.
All right. You keep an eye out as you lead the group forward. It seems to be incredibly solid. You're not going to test it, but you think you could do, like some jumps on it.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to test it, but
not going to test it.
It looks pretty solid.
But when you do catch the pieces where you can see like the ice instead of the snow on top, the lake isn't still. It is swirling and moving. The lake itself is active and churning as you move forward.
There must be an underground river. No other explanation for the way that the water's moving under there.
You all make your way to the center of the lake. And as you approach, you see starting to flank you on your side, Ave has moved forward. And he puts a hand on your shoulder. I'm fine. And he steps ahead of you. And as you get to the bridge, he reaches out and he places a hand onto this bridge. And you watch like a low hum of light emanate from his hand. And you watch as the bridge itself begins to glow. Carvings of runes all along it begin to illuminate. And you watch as snow begins to just like slough off on the sides. And the bridge now stands illuminated in front of you. A bridge of spine. It is a huge spine arcing out of the water and into the mountain. Right. Onward then.
Golvig, guide us.
It takes you a minute because of the arch of the spine, but all of you are able to climb up onto this huge bridge.
Oh boy.
And before you is the path into the mountain. And once everybody's on, you can see Ave kind of like runs his fingers over some of the engravings, the ones that are light illuminated. All right, here we go.
Onwards
I'm
and
good
upwards.
for anything. And he starts to make his way up this bridge, staying in the front with you now, keeping stride. You now start to make your way higher above the village, leaving the lake and the ground behind, as there is about an hour period of not touching the ground, the arch of this spine going up into the mountain. It's pretty wide though, so it's not the biggest fear, but the idea of just this is the only thing separating you from the ground is pretty intimidating. But it holds your weight. There is no sound of giving or creaking. It is solid as if it were stone. And you move forward. As you walk, you can see the whole thing has been illuminated by Ave. You can see ahead of you now on the mountain where the spine continues forward, that it is now illuminated. And you all continue onwards. Yes?
Does it look as if maybe the point where the spine reaches the mountain look to sort of line up with about where Fen saw the flash the night before?
As you think back on it, it does not seem exactly that spot. It seems definitely a bit further in than right at that spot. But it's in a similar area, but it is not the same spot.
Okay.
From
That said,
the vague mountain area you were shown.
yeah. As we're ascending, and since Ave is still at the front of the group, Nana kind of wants to lean up and say to him, sort of quietly, just so as not to alarm the slightly less experienced adventuring folks behind us. Last night, while we were on watch, Fen mentioned that there was some sort of flash up on the mountain. If my estimate is right, and based on where Fen told me he saw it, it didn't seem to be where this bridge leads, but a bit further on. We may need to keep our guard up once we reach the mountain itself.
Of course, then let's keep our guard up. You continue on, and after about near 2 hours of walking, a bit slower, your pace is slowed on the area where it's just spine. You eventually hit the mountain, and there is still snow upon the spine here, but you can see it illuminated under the snow where it continues to shine. So that tells you the direction to continue. As Ave moves forward, keeping pace, now picking up speed now that you're on solid ground, following the lights that lead him forward. Could everybody real fast give me perception checks?
19.
13.
12.
14.
Roshan, what'd you say you had?
19.
Okay.
Nice.
Roshan, there's a part where you and Ave end up next to each other while you're walking. And there's a moment where both of you in unison see something ahead on the spine, on the bridge. Ave stops. Everyone stop. Roshan, you see the outline of about 10 figures, it looks like. Humanoid figures who, it seems, also have stopped. As all of you look forward, you can see that this group has also stopped movement, and you can see them now as Ave points them out. You are about 400 feet away from them. There's a moment of no moving. You see Ave just has his hand raised to the group, just kind of watching him, watching these people. And you watch as one of the people in the group steps forward and begins to make their way out. Ave looks back to the group. Looks like a bit of a parlay. One moment.
And knocks an arrow.
All right. He smiles.
Are we in avalanche territory? Just wondering.
Probably.
It wouldn't be out of the ordinary if it happened. It wouldn't be the weirdest thing. He watches Fen knock an arrow and he nods to the group. All right, if this is going to be an attack, we don't want to be first. And Ave makes his way forward. You see the figure stops about halfway, and Ave meets him in the center. Ave is about 200 feet away from you. And the sound of wind rushes by as you can tell they're talking. And you can see Ave is using like kind of large hand gestures. At no point does he ever reach for a weapon as he begins to, it looks like he's having a conversation with this group. And what you hear you hear laughter. It sounds like a pleasant conversation as these two people are talking. And you see Ave point forward at the man he's talking to. And you watch Ave turn around and he motions to all of you with like a stopped hand. And keeps his hand towards you. And you watch as the man takes a piece of fabric from his back, and the shine is instantaneous of this golden spear that he pulls forth. And he's not holding like this. He's holding like this, very presenting.
Huh.
And you see Ave kind of puts his hand down and is looking at this spear. And Ave places a hand on it. And then there's a moment, a lull. Ave removes his hand, looks back to the group, smiles. The man turns the spear inwards and stabs into Ave's body.
No!
And that is where we are going to stop for tonight.
I know it! I know it!
No!
Thank you guys so much for joining us for On the Backs of Gods. Tune in next week, same time, same place, if you want to see what happens next. Thank you so much for being here. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
night.